3 Cents Podcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding.
Thanksgiving week is almost upon us, and we are grateful for another edition of 3 Cents Podcast presented by Integrity. We're very grateful to Ronnie and Stephanie Suarez and Integrity Roofing and Siding for helping us out here and being our presenting sponsor. You see their logo at the bottom of the screen. So if you would like Santa Claus, and there it is again, if you would like Santa to bring you a new roof for Christmas this year, Ronnie Suarez and Stephanie happen to know Santa and have an in with him. And so
you just gave me a good idea
for all your roofing needs, right? Because I know you've been talking about
you just gave me a great idea right there.
You're in the...
Honey, Merry Christmas.
We got a roof.
Your gift's on the roof.
Just look. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Do a set on top of the new roof.
That's absolutely.
That'd be
I
a
like
good
that.
bit.
I like that.
Hey, Ronnie, Cleto just volunteered.
I think I will.
Like the Beatles, they did a famous show on a roof. You could, saying.
I like that.
Throwing that out.
Okay.
Let's write that down.
I used to climb on my grandmother's roof and hang out all the time, up on the roof. You boys ever do that as a kid?
Up on the roof.
Just chilling on
just
the
to
roof?
get the ball. Well, we had like a covered patio thing attached to the roof, and when the frisbee or the ball went up there, I was usually the one that would have to get up top and retrieve.
I'd be like an idiot up there at the top. I thought
where
at the top of the cone. Yeah, like a moron. Rescuing my life.
My son called me from his phone. Said, "Dad, come get me." And I said, "Okay, where are you?" He goes, "I'm in the backyard." I'm looking. "Where you at?" "Hurry up, I ain't got time. It's a commercial. The game's going to start." "Where you at?" He goes, "I'm up here." He went to the very top of the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Very top of the tree. Yeah, goes, I go, "Well, how are you going to get down?" He goes, "Oh, I can get down. I just wanted you to see where I was at." And I go, and I have a picture, and I'll show you, but he's way in the top. I couldn't even see him. That's crazy, but
no. I used to climb trees in my youth as well, and I just mentioned that because my kids don't do that or haven't done that. But the one time they tried to, I was petrified. Thinking, like, I used to play like Tarzan, where my neighbor had was it a weeping willow tree with the long branches?
Those are beautiful.
Beautiful. And like
easy to climb.
Easy to climb, easy to swim. When of course I was 100 pounds lighter back then, but
easy to fall.
but easy to and very tempting to swing like you're Tarzan and Jane out there in the front yard.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, also like when I was on the playground and you used to get on the swing set and you'd go all the way up, and then at the very top you'd fling yourself off the swing thinking you were Superman. Who does that?
That's right. Not
me.
Apparently
us.
Apparently I did.
We at least thought about it. Yeah.
But at any rate.
It takes guts to do that for a living, to be a roofer. Man.
Those types of jobs. Yeah. The other day, my son, we were driving by, I think it was in the Helotes area, and I think Kono or one of the radio stations has their mega giant super tower, radio tower out in the middle of nowhere. You probably know the one I'm talking about. It's one of the tallest ones.
Yeah.
And my son asked me, would you, for $10,000, would you go up there? And the answer was no. I had read somewhere not too long ago, it's one of the tallest radio towers in the country, whatever. It's not I don't think it's in Texas. But true story, once a year, this gentleman goes up to the top because there's the giant light bulb at the top that keeps the helicopters and the airplanes away. Somebody has to go up there once a year, and they pay him $28,000.
Wow.
One time.
Wow.
I don't know, 1,000 feet. I don't know how high it is. It's one of the tallest in the country. I remember thinking it was in a cold area too, so it might be up north. Nonetheless, $28,000.
Wow.
To go up. A weird tingle just now. The thought of that.
I know. Yeah, I did. So I don't like heights. I don't like heights at all.
Really? So
I do
you could not
like
work
heights.
for Ronnie then.
I cannot.
You cannot do roofing.
No,
I can't do roofing.
He can sell the roofs.
I can sell the roofs, but I tell you, the roofing's a rough gig, man. I tell you right now, just that in the hot summer, forget that,
absolutely.
Charlie Brown.
Right, which is why if you want to get a quality job done, call Ronnie.
Amen. Preach.
Because they got the guys and come over there and get it done efficiently, and they don't spend 40 hours in the sun for 2 weeks because they get the job done.
Drive by anywhere. We're at Mi Familia, by the way, here at the Rim, which is just a stone's throw away from 1604 and I-10, where, of course, many years of construction continues as we speak. But you drive by, and now it's starting to get higher. The upper levels are being built, and you see those. I think they're all men, but construction men that are up top there just hanging and doing their thing, welding and knocking down concrete and stuff
around
the clock.
A little bitty rope clasped to their belt with a hook.
That's right.
I'm good, man. No, thank you.
Yeah.
They get paid well for a reason.
Those window washers get paid really well.
Yeah, man.
One guy just lost his life on that thing.
With the squeegee?
Yeah, I don't know if it was in town. My dad told me he saw it on the news. It might have been in town. But he said
it happened years ago when I was in Fort Worth. We had a guy fall.
Sad.
Yeah, man. They just took the power washer and washed him in the gutter.
Oh.
I made that part up.
I was going to say, yeah. That's kind of.
I was like, that's a
hell.
I mean, there ain't much left when you fall 35 floors, bro.
Wow. Yeah, I just got a tingle too.
Need to get that checked out.
Yeah.
Do y'all have a fear of anything like some
snakes?
sort of serious phobia?
I don't like snakes.
Heights. What is that called? Agoraphobia.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like heights, and I don't like being startled.
Well, what about flying in an air? Like you fly in an airplane? Okay.
I do fine. I fly good. I'm fine.
That's different.
I was afraid before, but then I got delivered to that.
You said heights, and what was the second one you said?
So I don't like to be startled.
Startled? What do you go crazy and start punching?
I do.
Flail your arms?
I do. I'm like my first response. I love my daughter, but she should never do that behind me.
So you didn't know haunted houses this year?
No, I don't do haunted houses. I don't do
scary movies.
I don't do any of that.
My reaction when I get startled is to yell. It happened a few weeks ago. I was walking our dogs, and another lady comes out. She has these two massive German shepherds, and I didn't see them coming. And these two dogs are like freaking Cujo. They're terrifying. The whole neighborhood,
Stephen King dogs.
The whole neighborhood is deathly afraid of these dogs, and it makes these people look bad. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, because not every German Shepherd is a maniac. These dogs are psychopaths. Every living thing they see, they want to kill it. And they act as though they want to kill it because they go crazy. They go apeshit every time they see anything, especially other dogs.
Yeah.
And I didn't see him come around the corner, and I just hear two dogs at the same time, and I go, hey! I have this thing where I scream when I'm startled. Hey! I guess my instinct is to try to scare whatever is scaring me back. It's a defense mechanism. It's a panic mode. Hey!
Did it work, though?
Well, she's like, and I scared her, and those dogs, she's like, Stud! And she grabs them real quick on the leash. I go, hey, get out of here! I screamed at her dogs. Because they were 20 feet from my little dog. If they got a hold of him, he'd be done.
And you've already talked about.
And I already have PTSD over this dog getting beaten up by another dog that was off the leash. And so we're walking back, and I see her again, and her husband's out there, and he looks at me, and I'm like, shh, and we kind of just chuckle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, sorry about that. Y'all scared the shit out of me. And they're like, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, your dogs are maniacs. That's embarrassing. You don't want to be the people in your hood that have the terrifying dog.
That's right.
Maybe some people do, but it's embarrassing.
Right.
You can't even go outside without getting your nalga scared off because of the neighborhood's dogs that act like they want to kill you. And they think they would. They really would. If they got, this is a little woman too, man. If they were ever to get away from her grasp, they're going to kill someone's kid or dog, and that's a massive problem in this city, as I've talked about on this show.
We have, yes, unfortunately.
Very unfortunate. Anyway, I'm scared of dogs.
What about you, Ernie?
And snakes.
Well, snakes. I mean, is a big one, and that's probably the biggest one.
I live in the country, so I
so my father-in-law does, and I ran into. I was playing. I'll never forget this. I was playing frisbee outside. He lives in Pleasanton, not far from where
right
you
down
are.
the road, right.
We were in the backyard a few years ago throwing frisbee with my daughter, and back and forth. Well, my daughter throws the frisbee, and a little wind gust takes it away, and to another part of the yard. So I walk over, I bend down to pick the frisbee up, and there's a snake there, and I probably screamed and and sure enough, I walk inside and I tell my father-in-law. There's a snake in the front yard or the backyard. And he comes out, typical Mr. Cool, no big deal, just goes up and proceeds to reach down and pick it up. And I'm like, I'm just losing my mind.
Pull that as a drop, what he just did.
And then, yes, thank you. And then mark the tape. And then he
picked it up.
proceeds. So it turned out to be a harmless grass snake or whatever. Of course, I thought it was.
Exactly.
The problem is, I saw Anaconda with Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube or whoever it was years ago, and it freaked the hell out of me. So now I'm messed up. But anyway, he proceeds to pass the snake around to my children, and they all take it. And there's a picture of it. My daughter,
that's awesome,
holding it, and then here my twins. Here you go. Pass the snake. And then
Here, Daddy.
Instead of getting the shovel, of course, they gently went to the back of the backyard and just released it and let it on its way.
Of course.
Yeah.
But
how big was the snake?
Oh, it was, I don't know, this big. No, it was like this. But I will say, fast forward to more recently, like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, I was taking the trash out in my front yard. And I put the trash out in the can. I'm walking back into my house. We have a little garden with mulch and just a few little things. Sure enough, the unmistakable sight of a coral snake.
Oh, wow.
Red and yellow kill a fella. Red and black. Anyway. So, of course, not only was the coral snake there, you look at its mouth, and it had a lizard in its mouth. So it was mid-meal.
Oh, nice.
Well, I went full shovel and let the coral snake have it.
You hit him like 900 times.
How big was the snake?
No, the snake was a legitimate, but it was just a coral. So again, it's like
was that this thin?
You hear, well, yeah. I mean, but the coral snakes, they're not gigantic, massive,
right?
Constrictor snakes, but you hear about the red and yellow kill a fella. And I'm thinking, my gosh, I'm going to get bit, and then I'm going to be, on the news, and I'm going to be dead, and all that. Anyway, so I started talking about these things, and our friend Tim Morrow from the San Antonio Zoo reached out to me.
Say the same story.
Reached out to me on Twitter, and God bless him. He was just telling me, listen, how valuable snakes are, and why you should not take the shovel. You should, catch and release, or just let it on its way.
Sure.
It's more scared of you than you are of it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So,
that's why it's trying to kill me, because it's scared of me. It's scared of me.
I was going to open the door, and I saw a coral snake and right there, and my daughter was right there by the door. And I got my shovel, and I went over there, and I took a picture of it. First one is a comment, Tim Morrow. The snake was going to do anything to you.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh my God, it was Tim. And I felt
damn sure not now, Tim.
I said, Tim, I didn't have time to read the color chart on this snake. Right. I said I had to get it going, and then that was it. I'm worried about my daughter. I'm trying not to, I just went to dad mode. And
you hit it, and it keeps moving.
Oh, yeah.
That's the freakiest part. It still moves, and
the head was off on this one.
I told you it had the little lizard in its mouth.
Yeah.
I still get like the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it right now.
Now, because of that, I see snakes, and I just leave them alone, let them go, because Tim keeps popping in my head every time now.
I was in my old neighborhood as a kid, and there was a huge snake, probably 4 feet long at least. And it was in someone's yard, and these two dudes these grown men, these are like some of the neighborhood homies, that think they're badass, and they see this snake and they're freaking out. And I'm over there, and we're all kind of assembling this thing that one dude takes a shovel and he somehow was able to scoop it up and throw it over his fence, and it went into the street. And it's just and they're all freaking out. Somebody get it. The snake's just kind of panicky. And my mother, a.k.a. Grandma Becky, that's what she's been known as our whole life. My mother comes out and she goes, "What's going on?" I said, "Mom, there's a big-ass snake." She goes, "Y'all are a bunch of," let's just go pizzas. We'll say pizzas. Y'all are a bunch of pizzas. That woman goes into the house, comes out with a hatchet. If you knew my mother, this wouldn't be a surprising story.
A hatchet.
These two homeboys and me and the kids, and everybody's all scared. This woman comes out and goes, "It's stupid. It's just a rat snake." Reaches down like she's freaking Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter. Picks that son of a bitch up. With a hatchet. Tears it in half. That's just a rat snake. Y'all are pizzas. Call all the guys pizzas.
Oh, my God.
This goes back to the Bible, man. I know my Bible a little bit.
Okay.
Preach.
Serpiente. The
serpent.
snake was the first animal that helped betray mankind.
Yep.
So, of course,
Adam and Eve.
It's still doing it to this day.
It's just human nature.
Thanks for nothing.
It's human nature to fear the snake. So, sorry, Tim Morrow.
That's the way I am with rats or mice. Or I don't like.
Just want to kill.
The little ones or the big ones?
We were in our old house, and we had this. My wife put this potpourri kind of like flakes and stuff, color like purple, whatever. And it was right behind the toilet.
Oh boy!
And I'm here, and I'm just hearing I'm in the restroom, and all of a sudden I hear.
Don't like rats.
You
What
check the toilet, and you're like,
I'm
no.
like, what the heck? And I turn around, and this rat, like, they popped his head out, and I go, ah! I jumped on the shower. I wind up jumping on the shower. My wife opens the door, and I go, there's a rat right there, there's a rat. They're laughing so hard. My daughters and my wife laughing because I'm on the top of the shower because there's a little itty-bitty mouse or whatever, a rat thing. I was like, dang it.
Too many stories on the news over the years of, and it's in Australia or Florida or somewhere far away, but walk into the bathroom and there's a snake in the toilet.
Oh,
Like a python.
You've seen those stories.
Yeah, overseas.
Or overseas,
King
right?
cobra.
And it's like, so like to this day, like I mean, I'll just glance,
Yeah.
make sure.
I'm on my master
Into the
bedroom,
toilet?
and I'm in.
That's
Just
funny.
just because our house,
Yes.
there's a green belt that backs up to our house.
Oh.
And so every once in a while, it doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while when I'm out doing the yard or whatever time of the year, I'll either see a giant snake skin or I'll see a rat. It's a rat snake. That happened one time. And it was.
I wouldn't know what a rat snake looks like to a garden snake.
But I know that there are corals and others in the neighborhood.
I know what
Oh, yeah, we've got
copperhead.
some rattlers out in the hill country for sure.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be better about it. Thank you, Tim Morrow. But obviously, I do have a
Screw you, Tim.
Whatever
I'm killing
that-
every snake I see.
whatever
Golly.
that's called, snakeophobia or whatever that
Do
is.
you know, Tim?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. No, man. So one time there was a big old rat, and I was in Hawaii. That's a different kind of rat. That's a marsupial. And
It's got a pouch?
That thing was in the kitchen. And so I was just waiting on that sumbitch, and because he was up on the stove. Because my twins would
Just looking at you, right?
my twins would go in there and they'd make something, they'd microwave something and leave crumbs everywhere. And so there was a big old rat literally on the stove. I grabbed the broom. I didn't know what to do. I'm scared to death. I'm scared of rats.
Yeah.
Even though, they're harmless.
Dang, rat had a work shirt on.
And so I had one of my kids walk to the other end of the kitchen and he took a sock off and threw the sock at the rat. I make this rat jump off the stove. I was done because this rat had been in our house for about a month.
Yeah.
I had enough.
Yeah.
Tried to use poison to no avail. Tried to put traps out, nothing. Finally, we come face to face.
Mano a mano.
Yes, sir. And so my kid throws the sock up. The rat jumps off the stove and just panic runs toward me. And I take the broom and I hold it like a baseball bat and boom, nail that bastard. And he was flying back across the kitchen, rams into the fridge, boom, and then it didn't kill him. He hauls balls down the hall into my bedroom. Oh no! Worst case scenario. So now so I got to go into the bedroom and find him, and he's under the bed. And I look under the bed, and there he is, and I can tell he's a little bit hurt. So I get that broom, and I'm trying to swoosh his ass, and I hit him again. Boom! And he nails the nightstand. And at this point now, he's just like, he's all gotcha knocked out, but it's still alive. So I got a shoebox and scooped him in the shoebox, and I was going to walk him outside, just like beat the hell out of him to death. But
balls.
Then he comes to in the shoebox.
Of course he does.
And I'm like, drop it, and the shoebox drops. The lid flies open, and he takes off across the street. And that's how I got rid of him. He was beaten up pretty good. So I nailed him twice.
He never came back.
No.
I wouldn't think so.
No, he didn't come back. I got that, but that was a very pizza.
Sammy
It was very
Sosa over here
pizza
beating it up.
No. There were way more manlier ways to get rid of that rat, but I'm scared of them. They scare me to death.
You got Mark McGuire smacking them.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of much rats. Rats and snakes. That's too cuckoo for me. I can't do it.
Well, it's just the Indiana Jones movies also
Paul's
screwed it for me
balls.
too. Between the rats, Paul's balls. We're gonna use that one.
That's a T-shirt right there.
Keep that one.
Okay, I don't know if it was a female or male. I don't know. It scurried. It scammed. It did what rats do.
When he said he hit that rat, I was just thinking of Tim Morrow's watching this. He's going to be like, this guy's
nailed
killing
it.
me.
Oh, bring him on. Come on, Peter. I don't care. Boom, nailed that son of a bitch. Yeah. I channeled my junior Mike Taylor second base.
Yeah, Mike Taylor second base. Make
Mike Taylor
solid
second
contact.
Yeah, man.
Oh gosh.
Golly. So anyway, yeah, that's my rat story. Don't like them, man. Don't like them at all.
They're ugly, disgusting.
Yeah,
And speaking of socks, that dang rat dragged one of my favorite socks onto the glue traps that we had.
Oh no.
We had the glue trap, and he put my socks on the dang glue trap. I lost my good sock.
Yee.
I mean, my favorite holy sock.
Are we still in the live spot for integrity?
no. Up on the roof.
Okay, anyway,
Yeah.
so we just kind of didn't
Do you remember that song?
meander into that.
Remember that
Sure,
song?
Of course.
Up on the Roof?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Way back.
So my dad's living with me now, and we listen to a lot of doo-wops, a lot of
Yeah,
doo-wop
man.
songs, right? So
Sure.
he just loves doo-wops and the Still of the Night, Silhouettes, all this stuff. And this is my impression, okay, of me and my dad. You're my dad, okay?
Okay.
This is my impression of me and my dad listening to doo-wops. They're white?
What?
What? That's all I say the whole time. Wow, they're white? He goes, wow, I didn't even know that. I was like, man, they sound great.
Well, there were some acts like that.
The cleft tones.
I was trying to remember who sang Up on the Roof.
Oh, that was
When this old world starts getting me down, it'll come to us.
yeah, not Otis. No,
but
not
all
Sam,
those.
not Sam.
You trying to
Cooke
think of
either.
white guys?
No. This is
Just in crooners in general
Yeah.
now. I thought we were still in white.
They would all wear
No.
they would all wear the same colored
They
suits.
wear
the
suits
powder
and-
blue or
Yeah.
the metallic purple, whatever suits, and they all dance.
Oh,
like the Four Tops
Yeah,
or the.
I learned those bands with my pops because my dad loved old school 60s,
Dion
50s
and the
music.
Belmonts.
Yeah.
all of them, little Anthony and the
Oh,
Imperials
you're
or
going
whatever.
way back
Frankie
now.
Lyman.
Lonely girl.
Frankie Lyman.
All those.
At some point, like, was it Frankie Valli decided, hey, Mom,
yeah.
I want to be a singer. Oh, let's hear you. And so if you hear your kid do that, don't you tell your kid, son, you need to be a plumber. But he scoreboarded them.
Wait, he's tiny too. Have you ever seen Frankie Valli in person?
Yeah, he scoreboarded.
We
them.
lost.
You know his parents were like, son, you're stupid. You need to go to law
Bring him back.
school, be a dentist, son.
Oh my God,
that's horrible.
How's it go again, Mike?
I can't do that again. I'll lose my voice.
Man, I didn't know you had so
That
many.
was good.
Jerry
That was-
Jones and now Frankie
Oh,
Valli.
no,
Look, man.
you got some impressions there.
Wow.
No, I can't believe it. If my girl comes up, my boy comes up, hey, I'm going to be a singer. I'm like, you ain't doing, first of all, you ain't ever get no girls doing that. He damn sure ain't getting no record deal. You need to go to school and get an education. But he made it work. We liked different tunes in those days. Those days of the crooners.
That's right, yeah.
A lot of them, honestly.
Oh,
I'm not hating.
It's a Jersey boy right here. I had no idea.
A lot of
Yeah.
them were not very good, but you get one or two good little hooks. Same thing with today. Hating on
Now-
pop music today, a lot of it sucks. But I got scoreboard because it gets played on the radio.
We're listening to these songs, right? And we mixed it up a little bit with 50s rock and roll. And I was like, I'm listening to the song with my dad, and I go, Dad, there's no way this song would be played today. And it was Bill Haley and the Comes.
Rock Around the Clock?
No. Rattle those pots and pans. Shake, rattle, and roll.
Oh, shake, rattle, and roll.
And shake it, but rattle those pots and pans.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, who's he telling to rattle the pot? No, he'll be canceled before that song.
Right.
came
Oh
out.
yeah, a lot of the lyrics are great.
Yeah,
From
it's
back in the
crazy.
day. Yeah.
But, I mean, can
Baby,
you-
get your ass in the house and make me some sandwiches.
No.
Yeah, a lot of that wouldn't fly today.
No.
My baby does the hanky panky. I mean, that ain't going today.
Nothing but the hits.
Now, except for gangster rappers.
Oh,
Rappers,
my gosh.
the most
Hold on, I can't
misogynistic.
hear
The most misogynistic. What is this? What did the millennials come up with? Toxic masculinity. The worst example of toxic masculinity and misogyny is in today's rap. Those guys can get away with anything. Everybody else, we can't say my baby does a hanky panky. Not anymore. No, you get in trouble. Yeah.
We were talking the other day about our daughters. They were getting us to listen to Taylor Swift kind of stuff.
Yes.
Right? Remember?
Yes.
So my daughter, and I was talking. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but so my daughter's been every time I'm in the car, I'm at the house, she's playing Taylor Swift all the time. So I'm learning these songs, right? And I'm listening to them. Now, there's a little fun fact you didn't know about me. Before I started doing stand up. I loved rats.
It's already funny.
I trained rats. No.
Wait, what?
So I had a thing for writing poetry. Okay. I would
okay.
It was just a hobby, something for me.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so I did that. I wanted to be a songwriter, and found out I couldn't put a melody together, whatever. So, and so I started doing stand up, and that was it. So that ended that.
Okay.
So I'm looking at Taylor Swift, and I got to give her flowers because she, like you said, I think it was Mike the other day said she can sing, or she's talented, and she's got some. I can't remember which one of y'all said that, but she's got her lyrics are, and we were talking about this the other day. Is that her lyrics are just phenomenal, and to the point where it's different in every song. It's like, I mean, yeah, she's been through the relationships and the pain and all that jazz, and every song is about a guy, right? Yeah, right. So, but if you hear the music and you hear the songs, I don't know who helps her produce it, but the songs are phenomenal. And the last time, I mean, you think about it, who the first person that came to mind was Paul McCartney that can do something like that. So the question was, who would you say is like the top, songwriters of all time?
All time?
Of all time.
Oh, wow.
Now that's one. Or on top of, like, this is the hard part. We were trying to name the top 5 female artists of all time.
Any genre?
That's easier for me to come up with.
Any genre, you put them all together. Like I'm like, if you ask me, I had Whitney, I had Mariah,
Talk about most talented.
Aretha.
Well,
Because Taylor's outsold all of them.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about
and
like
Taylor's written, because
Yes.
Mariah, correct me if I'm wrong, Mariah and Whitney Houston did not write their own
they
songs.
did not.
Taylor
even think
Swift
Celine
does.
did, yes.
Celine Dion did not
Right.
write her songs.
So it's just
Elvis
Wait a
Presley
minute.
didn't.
My Heart Will
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
On was not written by Celine.
No.
Damn it! I'm there goes my
Dolly
play.
Parton.
I'm deleting that
I was going to
playlist.
say Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton would be in the conversation because she's written
Yes.
so many songs. She wrote "I Will Always Love You" that Whitney Houston took
Sure.
to. So
Yeah. Dolly's written a ton.
we talked about Willie Nelson the other day, writing.
Willie's great.
that
Prince.
I think
Prince wrote a lot of good stuff.
I grew up on the Bee Gees, Barry Gibb. They wrote a ton of
A
songs
lot of
that
songs.
that they didn't necessarily sing.
Barbara Streisand, Barry Gibb.
They
wrote
did-
that
yes.
one, the duet.
Yes, they did several duets together. We talked about Prince the other day, who wrote songs that other artists did, and so there's so many.
He did Manic Monday.
By the Bangles.
Sheena Easton's.
There's so many examples of like that, though.
And then Sinead O'Connor's.
So nothing compares to you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it depends.
But then
on
Lionel
the kind
Richie-
of tunes
Lionel
we're
Richie
talking
did
about.
some-
Like you'll have some hippies that'll tell you, no, these pop stars. It's easy to write.
Paul Simon.
I mean, how great is I Stay Out Too Late? Got nothing on my brain. Ooh. Shake it off.
Shake
I mean,
it off,
is that
yeah.
really awesome? It depends. It depends on your perspective. Like I've got buddies that say, "Oh no, Townes Van Zant's one of the great writers of all time," or Arlo Guthrie's one of the great writers. Depend. Are we
And
getting
it
all
really does.
folky? Are we trying
Yeah,
to get
right,
deep with
yeah.
politics and race relations? Or are we just talking about screwing our ex-boyfriend over? I mean, what are we doing? here?
Yeah,
It depends on the genre.
And I see what you're talking about. I just think that some of the lyrics on some of her songs that I've been listening to, it's got a little Joan Baez kind of folky,
Really?
Yeah, it's got that.
To be fair, I never listened to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I don't think she's been confused with Patti Smith, though, as a writer, who was another brilliant writer
Brilliant writer,
from
yes.
back in the day. Whether you like that kind of music or not, which I don't,
I-
but the writing's good.
And that's what I'm trying to say is that I don't care too much for that kind of music, but you got to respect the writing on it. It's pretty good. It's really like the lyrics are like, wow, okay. And then you think about it, it's like, okay, maybe I see her still as a little girl, like a 19, 20-year-old. She's 34.
Well, she knows
So
her
she-
audience, though, and she writes the
Oh,
music
yeah.
for. I mean,
Right.
give her credit for that. I mean,
Oh,
She's
yeah.
at knowing her wheelhouse, for sure.
Absolutely.
No question.
and her shows are obviously experiences, and they're like, what do you call
Yeah.
them? I mean, it's not just a concert or a performance.
There's
I
been
mean,
a
it's
lot
an
of
experience.
crazy famous, crazy successful singer-songwriters that always give credit to those that have helped them write tunes, though. Like Garth Brooks always gave credit to, gosh, it was a husband and wife tandem. Somebody will help me out. A husband and wife tandem wrote No Fences. And then and Garth helped them write Rope in the Wind. and Shameless. It's a married couple that wrote half of Garth's tunes. That was Elton John.
Bernie Taupin.
He made sure that Bernie went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with him when he got inducted.
Who wrote his
Bernie
songs?
wrote every single one of Elton John's tunes.
John, Bernie Taupin wrote,
Yeah.
But
Well, that's his buddy, right? His friend?
Yeah, who is his writer.
His
It's
writing
his
partner.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
his DJ LG. So
Yeah, he's right. He's LG is to
LG.
Mike as Bernie
That's
Taupin is
right.
to Elton
Correct.
John.
Yes.
I see
right.
that.
Yes.
He's the
I'm
Marie Osmond to Donnie.
LG does the heavy lifting, and I'm the talented.
You get
funny
all of
one,
it. You
and
get
I
all
all
of
the glory.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So when you get into the Radio Hall of Fame or whatever, please be sure that LG gets a seat at the table.
Sure,
there. Yeah.
sure, I'll do that. I'm sure that nomination's around the corner, Ernie.
Hey, you never know.
You never know.
If you'd have told me 6 months ago we'd be sitting here, the three of us doing this, I mean,
Yeah,
what would you have said?
No, I would have said I'm screwed. Who knows? Oh, we're bringing. Oh,
Look at
yeah, I'll
this.
take mineral water. Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
Gerardo said those guys look like they need a drink.
Yeah, we look parched. No.
So parts are trouble.
No,
One of
man.
the
So
two.
where are we at? I like to get updates because I don't want you guys. My future is tied to you boys. We still good. We still like
It's
doing
like you
this?
said last week
We're
after we
hanging?
finished. We need to behave. Like, don't do anything.
Don't go to jail.
Don't end up on the
Don't
news
get
or
yourself
anything.
shot.
I'm
'Cause
trying
I
to
need
stay out
y'all.
of jail
I need y'all.
for Thanksgiving.
At least until I find a 9 to 5. I need you boys.
Geraldo,
thank
we
you,
interrupt
sir.
this. We
everybody.
interrupt this broadcast for
Thank you,
sparkling
sir.
water.
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Pellegrino brought to you by La Familia
Thank you.
Restaurant.
How great have they been to
I
us?
like the minis. Look at that. That's cute. That's cool.
Thank
Cheers,
you,
guys.
Thank
yeah.
you very
Cheers
much.
to.
Yeah.
Cheers.
No,
I believe this is our 10th or 11th episode.
Dude, yeah,
We're into double digits
and I got to
now.
be honest with you, and I'm not just bragging, and I'm not exaggerating because I don't do that,
Okay.
not normally. And I have everybody that has come up to me lately, whether they see me on the street or in a restaurant or whatever. Not that I have people coming up to me all the time.
Okay.
Inevitably, this show's come up.
Agreed.
Hey man, I love your podcast. How's it going? That thing you're doing with Cleto and Ernie, that's cool too. I'm in on that. I've had a lot of that lately, so that's good.
You know what I get?
It's a matter of attrition. Just keep doing it.
Here's what I get.
Yeah.
Mike Taylor is funny. I mean, they already know you're funny. I like to crack a joke. Mike Taylor is hilarious.
I didn't even know he was that funny.
I was like, well, I mean, he talked sports for all those years. I mean, I've known you as long as I've known you. You're funny. I mean, you're a funny guy.
I amuse you, huh?
Good-
I
you're-
amuse you.
You're an
Do I
amusing guy.
amuse you? You tell me how am I so fucking funny? You tell me, huh? Sorry.
The two Utes.
The two Utes. But no, people. I guess maybe it's our audiences or my audience who in some cases might be hearing you for the first time.
Sweet. I'm sloughing off new audiences.
Are like, man,
I like
he
it.
is funny.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I get? Man, Cleto, you are carrying that show. I mean, I don't know how
Hey,
you're
I'm
doing
cool
it.
with that.
Yeah,
I don't know
fine.
how
Hey, that's-
your back
I'm
must
cool
be
with that.
really.
Yes,
As long as I get my 20%, that counts.
exactly.
You come on with it.
The math is all the same. The math is all the same.
Seriously, I get a lot of, man, I really love the show. I love what you guys are doing. I didn't know. That Mike Taylor is hilarious. Cleto, someday you'll be like that.
Y'all's people need to watch more comedy or something. They think we're funny.
Bro, what was it, Hall's Ball?
Hall's balls.
Well, he's a rat. His balls probably drag his floor. I didn't know. I didn't know.
It's Hall's Ball.
I can't confirm if it was a male.
He's got a visual.
Oh my God, I would be saying that all night. It's like,
I did not
hey,
examine.
if we just Hall's balls to Sun's game,
Yes.
we'd be all right.
We're running late.
We're running late. Come on, crying out loud.
Can y'all indulge me for a minute? I want to praise my girlfriend for a minute.
Do it.
Is that fine?
Do it.
Clearly, we have
Are
no
you checking your sugar?
We have no plan today. My sugar just texted me. I don't check sugar like you check sugar.
So before the show, Cleto said I need to check my sugar, and Mike was talking to Nina. So Mike's like, "Yeah, I'm checking on my sugar too," and Cleto was checking his sugar.
And I
We'll
was
take
literally-
a picture of the three of us. Yeah, keep going.
I was literally checking my sugar.
like he was quite
I
literally
was checking my sensor.
his
was right
glucose.
here. There's my sensor right there. So I was checking my
I thought you meant you're
glucose.
calling your wife.
No, I was
I'm
checking
like-
my sensor.
I
had
was texting
I was
my
feeling
sugar.
a little loopy, and I'm like, man, I got to check my sugar. I might need a concha here or something.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds good.
Concha, that
Yeah,
sounds
it's
good.
about that time of day too.
Let me check. Yep, it's
yeah,
Concha
about-
35.
it's about
Concha
that time.
35.
No, I want to give this woman a little bit of praise. My girlfriend, her name is Nina Duran. Most of y'all probably know her.
Sweetest soul on
Love
this planet,
Nina.
man.
Love Nina.
And so this woman, I hope she keeps me around a little longer because I'm sure I'm lucky. So I think I shared a story with you boys not that long ago. We're talking about handling hate mail. We were at Prestige.
Yes.
We were at Prestige.
Yes.
People that get mad, they think you're not funny. They think you suck, and they think you should go back to Dallas, you stupid Mavericks fan.
You know my fans. Okay.
No, those are mine. Those are some of the people that listen to me at the beginning of the day. No, handling fandom and stuff. And I was telling, Nina and I were talking about that show that night because that show struck a chord with me because I had not heard that story with your wife.
Yes.
And someone that was critical of her.
Right.
That pissed me off.
Yeah.
I know it's an old story,
right,
but that was the first time I heard it. So the wounds for me
No,
were
I get
fresh.
it. I get it.
I want to defend my buddy. And so we were talking to Nina that night about that show, and she remembered that. And we're talking about handling people that get mad that don't think you're funny, the haters too. It's like, but it's like, well, I mean, I wouldn't have hate. I wouldn't get criticized on the internet if I didn't do this for a living. I could go do something else. And I told her the story of my all-time favorite singer, since we're talking about my favorite rock star all time is Eddie Vedder.
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam. And I told Nina this story that night of Ed has a story of when that band was first taken off and they were taken over. Like that grunge scene was just exploding with Gen Xers like me in the 90s. And Eddie did not want any of that fame. He wanted to be the rocker. He wanted to tour and make records, but he didn't want all that attention. Because that thing got way too big, too fast for him. He just wanted to travel around in a van and pay dues and play small clubs, but they just blew up immediately.
Yeah.
And so he's all over the place. And so Time Magazine wanted to do a piece on the grunge explosion in America in the early 90s. And Ed's like, I'm not doing that. Tell Time. He told the record company, tell Time. I said, no, I'm not going to be in Time Magazine. Too cool, Yeah. I'm not going to do Time Magazine. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm an artist,
Yeah.
So they were like, no, you need to do it. It's to be a good piece. But the record company basically strong-armed Eddie into agreeing to doing it. So Ed's like, fine, I'll talk to the reporter, but I don't want my picture in the magazine. And told the reporter from Time, I'll give you some quotes on our band, on the scene, but you have to promise you won't put my picture in the magazine. And they promised him, according to Ed. Long story short, he does the interview. 6 weeks later, this giant Time magazine, Time comes out, has this massive report on the grunge movement in America. And what do? Not only did they put Eddie's picture in the article, they put Eddie on the cover. Of Time. And he was pissed.
Wow.
And vowed he would never talk to Time again. And it took 25 years before Eddie really opened up with any reporter ever again, which I thought was cool, because I don't care. I'm a fan no matter what. I don't need all the media and publicity. But anyway, so Ed tells this story where he's sitting in a restaurant kind of like this, and he's having a coffee. There's an old lady walks over. She's waiting on him, and she had waited on him before. It's a bar where it's a bunch of old people. They don't care about him. He's just some kid.
Right.
She comes up. She goes, "You're that kid I just saw on the magazine, aren't you?" He's like, "Yeah." She goes, "You were in Time last week." He's like, "Yep." And she's like, "Wow, that's amazing." And he's like, "It's not that big a deal." He was like blowing it off. She's like, "Wait, no, you were on the cover of Time magazine. That's awesome." He's like, "Nah." And she's like, "Well, what you don't like the publicity?" And he goes, "Nah, I really don't want any of that." And she's like, "Well, buddy, you're in the wrong business then." And Ed's like, that resonated with me. It's like, okay, I chose to do this for a living, know. And so when I chose to have to, that means I've got to go. There's going to be times where I got to deal with the publicity of it all. So I told Nina that story. I'm going somewhere with this.
No, I get it.
I told her that story of Eddie and how he reluctantly accepted. Okay, people are going to talk about me. He still didn't love being on the cover, but it is what it was, and he realized I could go be a plumber if I don't want to. I just want anonymity. I can go do something else.
Yeah. And
he kind of learned to reconcile with the attention. So my birthday is next week. So anyway, I told this story to Nina about the magazine cover, just in passing that night, laying in bed, getting ready to go to sleep, watching TV. My birthday's next week.
Uh-oh.
This woman gave me an early birthday present.
When's your birthday?
The 25th.
Oh, next Friday.
Yeah, so this is what Nina went and got me an original copy. This is the original copy, October 1993. It's in great shape. I don't know if you can see it with the lights. This is the cover. This is Ed on the cover of Time magazine. What is the date on this? It's October 1993.
All the rage.
October, all the rage. Angry young rockers like Pearl Jam give voice to the passions and fears of a generation, my generation. He was so pissed over this because he promised, that's fine, I'll do the piece, but you can't put me in the magazine. They put him on the cover.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he hated it, but he got perspective from that old lady in the restaurant. Well, if you didn't want publicity, you sure picked the wrong business, buddy.
Right.
And he's like, you know what? She's right. I know. So this is how, clearly we're not on any sort of level like this.
No.
But this is how you deal with.
Yeah.
I have always, not yet. I've always tried to deal with, I'm good at handling criticism. I am horrible at handling praise.
Really?
I'm terrible at it. The criticism is great.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm terrible at being told I'm funny or you're good. Your show is great. I had a guy come in to the liquor store the other day. I'm working at a liquor store now part-time. And he comes in and he tells me a story. He's like, Mike, he goes, you're Mike. I go, yeah. And so he's like, oh, someone had told me you were working in here. I'm like, yeah. And I'm just trying to ring the guy up, thanking him. He's like, dude, I want you to know that I don't want to give his name. I have his first name, but he's like about 5 years ago. Or I've listened to you religiously every day since you got here. But about 5 or 6 years ago, my wife and we had a baby 5 months premature. 5 months premature. It would literally the baby's legs would fit in this little water bottle. Mm-hmm. And the baby was most likely going to die. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, and our kid, there's a happy ending. The kid survives. The baby lived, the brain was not developed. And so their baby had to have multiple brain surgeries before it was in the hospital for months and months and months. Finally got released, and now the baby's doing well. Everything's cool. And he was like, your show got me through that dark time because my wife and I we were done. Our life was over. This baby was going to die, our newborn. And we spent, a year in the hospital. And every day I just knew I could turn you and Hutch on or you and Puma on. And for 3 hours, it was a respite. And I just want to personally thank you. And he shook my hand. I'm like, I don't handle that well.
Right.
And so that's good. So that's good. So you can tell I'm terrible at handling it. So look, man, if this thing here if someone thinks our show's good, and that's just it. See, I'm not going to tell you about. I can't fix our problems. I can't bring peace to the Middle East. But if I can crack a dumbass joke about a rat or my mom, and someone kills 20 minutes because of some dumbass thing I say, then that's cool. That's why I'm doing this.
I've been following you for a long time as well. I've been a fan for a long time, and I don't know. I mean, you stop and think about it, and it just made me think. Okay, what was it that made me listen or tune in every day, or what would do? And I kid you not, I would get in my car. And I would drive. It was when he was around the afternoon time. And I would drive around before I go pick up my kids just to hear.
Right.
I would be with no gas, and I'm driving around just so I can hear him
on fumes
on in the car.
Thanks, man.
And it was just something that it's something about his stories. Like, I could sit here and listen to his stories all the time. And the way he describes them, it's real. It's genuine. There's no fluff. There's no fake. This is what you see is what you get. Someone asked me, too. They go, are these guys the way they are on the podcast? I go, yeah, they are. I mean, matter of fact. And then someone had said, Ernie looks so relaxed now. I go, well, yeah, he's gotten up 5 cameers in front of his face.
He's sleeping.
Yeah.
I said, but yeah, exactly.
He's hanging out with riffraff now.
But
he's got a slouching and everything. Look at him.
It's like ¿qué onda? But Mike, I can sit and listen to his stories over and over and over. I mean, it could be the same story, and it's just one of those things that, I know you don't take the compliments very well, but yeah, it does come with the territory. It does come with the gig. I mean, with me doing stand-up for almost close to 30 years, I mean, you're talking about paying dues.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, when I started at the bars, and now I'm performing at churches and convention centers and colleges and all over the place, and it's just a matter of, what is it you're bringing? For me, it's like my thing is not so much. I didn't have a problem with accept it. Mine's the opposite. I had problems with critiques. With people criticizing what I was doing, because it'd be like, they'd come and like, I don't think you're funny. Like now, I'm getting a lot of the younger guys. You got to be on your game because the younger guys are coming up, and I had this hurts more than anything. And I've been on this side of the fence where I was coming up, and I'd be funnier than the headliner, and the people would tell you, you're so much funnier than the headliner. You should have been the headliner, the headliner's right there. I'm getting that now. Like,
you're the old man.
I'm the old man. It's like, so now I'm writing more. I'm staying up late. Going back to basics. Going back to writing what's really funny and
fundamentals.
You got to go back and reinvent yourself, like you said. But I'm the opposite. I mean, I can handle praise and applause, and I mean that applause is what I work for, and that's which, by the way, will be tomorrow night. I have my comedy night at
Friday night.
Las Chiladas. If y'all want to come,
Thank you.
Bring your fans, bring your dates, and come on out.
Bring your sugar.
Bring your sugar. Yeah.
Check your sugar.
Let me check my sugar. Let me check my sugar real quick.
Anyhow, so that
is super
was a
cool,
good
though.
analogy into what we were talking about, but also this woman here,
Dude,
she goes out and buys
you
the original.
You got to take her to Jack in the Box.
At least, for
at
sure.
Least something
Maybe
for
not
real.
Jack, but I'll give her the box.
Hell.
Empty box, no
Chipotle
Jack.
at least.
No, for sure.
Chipotle, yeah.
For sure. No, that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna
Dude, that
hang
is
that up
awesome.
in the studio.
That's nice.
pretty cool.
That's nice.
And it's a motivational story. It teaches me to learn how to accept.
See, you
praise.
told her that story, and she got that for you. I've been telling my wife, Wimby jerseys are on sale. Wimby jerseys are on sale. Bro, I can't even get a Wimby jersey. She goes, wow. Well, you know what? The lawn needs to be cut. And I'm like, Wimby jerseys are at Dick's. They're on sale right now. I'm just saying.
I got a $50 Academy card burning a hole in my wallet. I need to get me some.
Get some Spurs stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
See.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Real quickly before we leave,
Anyway,
speaking of Spurs, did you like that in-season tournament, what they did with the floor the other day with the old hemisphere colors and everything?
I love ours.
I missed it.
I love our court.
Okay.
It's got kind of a mestizo Indian
Brown
thing going.
and
some people didn't like it. I thought it
teal
was
and
fine.
yellow.
I thought it was good.
Okay.
You didn't
I
like
just
it?
wish we-
Clearly you didn't
No,
love
I didn't hate it.
Okay.
But it was, I think Sean Elliott on the broadcast made a point. He's like, I don't hate it. The Spurs are not. There's no silver or black.
Well,
Yes.
that's
And
not
so
the
you're
point.
I know, but all the NBA teams have these.
Did you see what the Rockets had?
I don't know. I
The
saw the
whole
Rockets one.
court was red. It looked like a murder took place in there. It was awful. It was bad. Some of
Maybe
them
you
were
want to
awful.
Hall's balls.
You know what? I have not been. I thought the in-season tournament was a desperation ploy by the league.
I didn't understand it. I didn't understand
and I
it.
didn't understand it. But now that we've had a few games, the Spurs have played a couple.
Right.
Is this still going on?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
ongoing.
It's gonna last the rest of the next couple of months. I think they have
I just want us to win.
The championship's around New Year's. Yeah, I know.
Right.
Well, Pop's mailing. All of a sudden, 4 guys got hurt for Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
I'm fine with it. It's cool. Soccer does this all the time. Other leagues, they have in-season tournaments.
Yes.
where so and that's cool. I'm learning to get used to it. If the teams will take it serious, I understand. And again, the NBA, and this is the NBA's defense on this. They know that you're going to watch.
Yep.
They don't need to do anything new. You're in. You're going to watch
yeah.
the Spurs. You're good to go. They're trying to get young.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to get drive-by, to steal Rush Limbaugh's old line. Drive-by. They're trying to get drive-by fans. The casual fan that needs an excuse to watch. Well, I'll watch in the playoffs. I don't watch the finals.
that's true.
That's what they're
Just
trying
like
to
college
do.
basketball too. It's like
They're
I'll watch
trying to
in March
get
for
direct. And
Yep.
so the NBA is like, no, let's try to make an in-season tournament mean something.
Yeah.
And let's give payouts to the teams that win, and try to get some new eyeballs to watch it because whatever it is, it's our human nature. If we don't feel like a game matters,
Yeah.
we don't seem to enjoy it as much, which is unfortunate. You ought to be able to just enjoy watching a game.
Right.
But we're all like this. Oh, is it a playoff game? Nah, it's not. So they're trying to make games matter in the first half of the season, and we'll see
Right.
how it shakes down. The ratings,
Sell some merch.
the television ratings have been good.
No, I from a
good.
marketing perspective, I've heard a lot of positive things about it, and so there is a lot of intrigue. And what do the courts look like in this new merch and everything? everything. So anyway, wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Did y'all see the Fred's Fish Fry
Oh.
Spurs jersey going around?
Yes.
Oh, that was hideous.
I didn't like that. No.
You did not like it.
I won't be doing that.
I
no.
I did appreciate it just from the creative thought. Like,
That was
okay,
creative.
and
I'll
somebody
give them
turned it
that.
into
Yeah.
a legitimate T-shirt jersey.
E for effort, but F for ugly.
And then there was a Bill Miller one too,
Was
and,
there?
so those are
Of
floating
course,
around.
yeah.
But,
It's like I was trying to tell my dad. My dad goes, "Hey, we got Wimby. How come we're not winning?" I said, "Dad, we don't have Robinson. Duncan
Right.
had Robinson. Okay,
Right.
he had
Kid
the
needs
general.
time.
He had Sean
Patience.
Elliott. We got a lot of
Patience.
new guys, so it's going to take a patience.
I
on
think
this
they're a trade or two probably away from getting where they want to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of summers of free agency. It's going to take a minute.
Take a
The
little
kid's
time.
19. Tim was 22 when
Yeah.
he got here.
Yeah.
You know, David was out of the Navy when he got here.
Yeah.
This kid's not even
Grown
old enough.
man.
This kid can't buy a cerveza here at La Familia.
Not legally. No, he
not
cannot.
legally.
No,
So
he cannot.
it's going to be a process.
All right.
And we're going to have to be a little bit more patient.
marathon.
which
Now,
we don't
that's-
Yeah, my
like, but we
face
have to
hurts
get used
today.
to.
Okay.
You all right?
face. Yeah, I laughed so much.
Oh,
Oh,
dude.
this thing.
Bro, my cheeks hurt so bad right now.
All right. So I think we're gonna. So Thanksgiving week is next week. We'll talk to the bosses and see if we're gonna come back and do another show on Tuesday.
Tuesday of? Oh, okay.
We need a little.
Oh, yeah. Oops. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
so
to
we
think about
won't
that.
have a Thursday show.
We probably won't have a
We will
Thursday.
not. We'll have an overreact, won't we, LG? Well, I guess I will from my house.
Yeah. So,
But none of
anyway,
this.
check your local listings for the next 3 Cents podcast.
That's right.
And we'll be back one way or the other very soon here.
Yeah,
So
man.
Like our Facebook page, too, by the way.
please like our Facebook page, and if you're interested in joining Ronnie and Stephanie Suarez and helping us out with the sponsorship, look, we got plenty of real estate on the screen.
Yes.
Plenty of room to put
I
your
am
logo
for
here.
sale.
Yes, we're all shirt space, whatever. we're for sale, and we're not ashamed to admit it. But we'll be back very soon for
We're
Clint
gonna Halls
Rodriguez.
balls the next
We're gonna
time.
Halls balls. Mike Taylor, I'm Ernie Zuniga for LG across the way, and the rest of the crew. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Three Cents Podcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding.